When I started off watching She-Hulk, I had no idea what a clusterfuck the show would be. Worst case, I thought that maybe we would get a bad show with a shit ending.
You've got to do better, Senator.
But fuck me, even the writers gave up on their own show. They just went, fuck this, we can't fix this mess that we made, so we might as well bail on the finale and just put themselves on screen because they are narcissistic assholes. The entire ending is them shitting on the MCU and complaining about Kevin Feige. That is real, this is what happens. The writers just fucking implode and they could not give a shit about their own work. This is fundamentally a broken show. We have 9 episodes of a middle-aged woman being a drunken whore who is shit at her job and holds other people to a standard that she herself cannot meet. She never changes, all she does is get more and more unlikable every time we see her. The one positive I will give this show is that we get to see inside the mind of a middle-aged, resentful feminist in California. They do not see the world like the rest of us. Where we see logic, they see misogyny. Where we see a woman acting like a cunt, they see a strong female lawyer.
Delusions!
This is why you cannot reason with these people. They live on a different planet from the rest of us. They are as delusional as they are talentless. So hopefully for the last time, let's break down this fucking mess they call a finale. We start off with a shit homage to the 1970s Incredible Hulk TV show.
How dare you stand where he stood?
Why are they doing this now in the finale of the show? This episode should not have a moment wasted, and everything you set up should be paid off, but fuck all has happened for 8 whole episodes, so we are stuck with shit filler.
Oh, fuck me.
Jen wakes up in the same cell Abomination was in, because they have run out of budget and they need to reuse sets. The lawyer tries to get Jen to focus on her own lawsuit, but she ignores her because she feels completely blameless for her own actions.
They baited you and you took the bait. I was angry! Which is how anyone would respond in that situation.
You sound insane. Do you realize that?
Well, I guess that's okay then. You can just smash private property and endanger people's lives all because you feel angry. Jen, you are a child. Take some fucking responsibility for your own actions. You're in your late 30s. When are you going to start acting like it?
The DA won't pursue any charges related to the incident.
What are the terms?
So she just gets to walk free with 0 repercussions for everything that she did. The only thing they want her to do is wear an inhibitor. How is that any fair? Emil Blonsky had to spend 10 years in prison before he was allowed out on house arrest. But for some fucked up reason, this bitch gets to walk free. Now, because she can't turn into She-Hulk anymore, she has lost her job at the law firm.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
She literally is a diversity hire. Once she has lost her diversity, they no longer wanted her.
So I will continue to work here because they paid me nicely.
Jen's friend has shown her true colours and abandoned Jen, who is now a sinking ship. This two-faced bitch does not give a shit about Jen and she isn't her friend. She only latched onto Jen because she is a parasite. Later on, Jen has dinner with her parents who are fine with her moving back in with them because she has lost her job and has no money. How the fuck do you not have any savings? You worked a 6-figure job and don't have a family to support. Did you spend it all on drink?
Do you think that doing alcohol is cool?
So does Jen show any gratitude that her parents are helping her out in a time of need?
This'll be fun.
I hate you.
Later on that night, the two-faced bitch visits her at her parents' house, which she has converted into some kind of detective office.
And it is owned by several shell companies that are operating outside of U.S. jurisdiction.
It's a fucking website. Why would they need shell companies to own it? All you would need is to buy a server. They are trying to make this website a bigger deal than it is, because these writers don't understand how websites work.
Intelligentsia is made up of exclusively dumb dudes.
Smart enough to run rings around a pair of you fucking retards. You fell right into their trap. It's why Jen is at her parents' house desperately looking over evidence and still failing to find them. The pair of you are the retards in this situation. Jen's mum interrupts them by bringing food and drinks because she's a nice person.
We're going to be out of my living room.
As soon as I get justice, and I can't do that if you're hovering.
Okay.
Does anyone else know why she hates her mother? She's been nothing but nice and helpful, but all Jen can do is shout at her. My guess is that it's probably because she was never beaten as a child.
Have you ever tried sitting down with your children and hitting them?
Jen goes to her bedroom and sulks like a teenage girl.
This isn't even a reluctant superhero story. I'm just getting screwed over.
No, Jen, all of this is your fault. Everything that has happened to you is because you were acting like a psycho bitch. In fact, you got off much easier than you deserve.
Yeah, because you'd be in jail.
We see Jen scrolling through her phone past all of the contacts that she never speaks to in the show, and she tries to message her cousin, who she has labelled as Smug Hulk. She can't contact him in outer space despite doing it in episode 2, so she messages Emil instead, saying that she is tired of her parents' hospitality and wants to stay with him. He doesn't reply to Jen's message, but Jen doesn't give a shit and is already packing for the trip. This is how much of an entitled cunt she is. She lets him know that she is coming, whether he wants her to or not. We cut to the office where we see two-faced bitch. She has for some reason gone to work in the middle of the night and has gotten changed as well. Also, she can upload a video to the Intelligentsia website. Why she needed to go to work for this, I don't know either, other than the showrunners wanted to reuse this set. So what is this video that she is uploading? Why, it's Jen in her college years slapping her ass on camera. I guarantee the writers did this in college, getting fucked by every other guy they came across until they came into their late 30s and no one wants them anymore. That is why they are so bitter.
You're all dried up in there.
So immediately after posting the video, she is invited to a She-Hulk party.
Oh, well, isn't that convenient?
We cut to Jen, who has shown up to Emil's estate completely uninvited, where she bumps into the simp who happens to be waiting outside for her, who immediately starts to set up a spare bedroom for her. In this bedroom, Jen is reading a book which has photoshopped Tim Roth's head onto someone else's body.
Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
Outside of Emil's estate, two-faced bitch tells the simp her plan, which is for the simp to blend into the party whilst wearing an earpiece.
It's suspicious that I'm walking around with an earbud in.
No, trust me, you're not going to be the only one.
Todd Phelps?
Why does anyone listen to this fucking retard is beyond me. And what's worse is that she keeps giving more shit advice. So after being spoken to like a dog, the simp goes to the party where he is constantly berated by the two-faced bitch over the phone.
Don't pretend like you can't hear me.
So the simp is trying to summon what little testosterone he has in his body and joins in on the conversation.
Females, am I right?
So let's hear the arguments that these misogynists are making.
She just sucks, okay? And I'm not just saying that because she's a female. I would have the exact same criticisms if she was a man.
This is making insanely good sense to me.
Todd starts talking to the simp and he tells him that he started Intelligentsia. Can this show do anything that isn't predictable? Yeah. Also, isn't it pretty convenient that Todd manages to get matched up to Jen on Tinder? The woman swiped right on the man who made a group to ruin her reputation. That is some contrivance we got there. We cut back to Jen and she is talking to the simp. I say talking, but all she does is just complain at him over and over again.
But I don't think anybody could really understand what I'm going through right now.
Shut up!
Even he gets sick of her and finally tells her that Emil is at the cabin. Jesus Christ, is she unbearable. We see Emil walk into the cabin as Abomination and he gives a pep talk to these people. It seems like he has no clue who these people are despite letting them onto his property. And he is supposed to be some sort of Jordan Peterson ripoff. What the fuck is up with Hollywood's weird obsession on him? Jen walks into the barn and is furious with Emil because his turning into Abomination makes her look bad. This is classic Jen. She does not give a fuck about anything unless it affects her in some way. Get ready to be hit by a tsunami of shit writing. Ray Swap Titania and Bruce Banner, coming from absolutely fucking nowhere, break into the cabin and everyone starts fighting. Jen then decides that this fucking mess of a finale is unfixable and breaks into the Disney Plus menu and uses it to enter Marvel Studios. The writers have completely given up. They do not give a fuck about what the audience think. This whole segment is a cop-out because these fucking retards are too stupid to come up with an ending. She-Hulk walks into the writer's room and it looks exactly how you think it would.
What the heck is that?
How is this writer's room considered diverse? Everyone is the exact same. Every single one of them is a fucking retard. So She-Hulk begins to complain about the blood plot, which makes me think that this wasn't their idea, but Kevin Feige's. And these retards had to try and put this in their show. He probably wanted this in because this show had absolutely zero story. So being the entitled cunt that she is, she heads off to Kevin's office to change her show.
Can I speak to the manager?
On the way, she violently attacks the security who are only trying to do their jobs. Jen is straight up a villain at this point. She is a fucking horrible human being. She enters the office and we see a Kevin Feige proxy. What we have next is the argument that these writers in the show had with Kevin Feige.
Wait, so you're the one who's making all the decisions here?
Yes, I make the decisions.
Kevin, I'm not happy with what's happening in my story.
You do not get to choose.
It's my show.
It's KEVIN's show.
All these writers have done is show how fucked it is at Marvel. How all of these shows are just factory produced and how entitled they are as writers that they only wanted to make the show for themselves instead of the audience. They go on to argue that the MCU is boring and formulaic and that She-Hulk should break the mold and end differently.
Slight problem on that front.
There's a reason why they give talentless fucking morons like you a formula, because this show is what happens when you are allowed creative freedom. You make incoherent cat shit.
You almost tasted that. Num 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 num, eat it up.
My life fell apart right when I was learning to be both Jen and She-Hulk. Those are my stakes, Kevin.
Boring!
No one gives a fuck about you, Jen, and they shouldn't, because you're an asshole. So like everything else in Jen's life, she gets to have her way and change the ending.
The powers aren't the villain. He is.
No one had a problem with the powers, Jen. The only problem is you.
And Bruce swooping down to save the day in my story?
Yeah, we can't have Bruce being heroic for even a minute, because that would make Jen look bad now, wouldn't it?
I just want him to hold himself accountable.
In the quiet words of the Virgin Mary, come again.
I just want him to hold himself accountable.
Oh, really?
I would not throw that word around, Jen. And what's he supposed to be accountable for? Because it's certainly not for breaking the law, because Jen does that all the time. No, what he has to be accountable for is that he lied to Jen. That's why he has to be punished, because Jen gets to decide who's right and wrong.
Would not mind seeing Daredevil again. A woman has needs.
And I can smell an evil slut!
Ah yes, I forgot how much Jen is desperate for male validation. So desperate that she is willing to force Daredevil to stay with her against his will.
Well, yeah, that's what Hulks do. We smash things. And sometimes Matt Murdock.
We get it, Jen, you're a slut. Have some self-respect, for Christ's sake. She even starts to annoy Kevin, who finally tells her to fuck off back to her own show. The new revised ending is that somehow Todd is arrested by Jen, who is walking around in her